What is anxiety disorder? I bring this topic up a lot because I suffer from anxiety severely. I will get anxious in crowds. It is most likely why I don't have a lot of patience going to Walmart, going to swap meets, things like that. Driving, anything that frustrates me. But mine's been kind of under control. But for the most part, there's a lot of people that suffer from anxiety. Many of them are on the internet, in chat rooms or involved in different things on Facebook, etc. Because in a way, it kind of helps soothe their anxiety, their social outlet, without actually being around people socially. You are in a way, but you could always turn the computer off, kind of thing. And sometimes they don't realize that that's why they're on there. That's why they're doing it, which is fine. It's great as far as being able to still socialize. Anxiety can be inherited. It's also a form of post-traumatic stress disorder, of course. If you've been through some trauma in your life, had life changes that really affected you, it could bring on an onset of anxiety. There's also OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. Usually they are very anxious as well, and it could affect everything. It's on the same lines of stress, which it does cause a lot of stress that can really hurt you. It could kill you. So it's important to get your anxiety under control. Most people don't realize that they're anxious in the first place. They do not recognize it. All they know is like something's wrong. It can cause some physical side effects such as stomach aches, increased heart rate, shortness of breath. You could feel weak, dizzy, or you could just feel like you're going crazy and not know exactly why. Some anxiety is normal, like if you're going to go on a ride that you're getting anxious about, or you're going to do a presentation, things like that. Of course, you're going to get anxious, where you start to feel like you're going to be sick, or you're going to have a panic attack. Where it is a problem is when it starts affecting your everyday life. You feel like you just want to leave the situation, or you freeze up, or you feel uncomfortable, you can snap at people. Sometimes you're not thinking clearly, and you actually do things to avoid a situation. When I'm driving, I don't like to cross, like say there's a two-way highway, I'm going to cross and turn left. And I have to cross the first lane to get to the second lane to turn. I'll avoid driving that way. I will go a long way around just to avoid that, because my anxiety just doing that scares me. An example of where it affects somebody's life. Anxiety can follow under three clusters. One is the physical, where you can have panic attacks. The other one is when someone feels wired, feeling of tension, being stressed out. The other one is kind of like an anguish, where your brain won't stop thinking and stressing out about the thoughts. And here are some ways that you can combat that. For cluster one, which is physical, you can try to eat right, avoid alcohol, nicotine, sugar, caffeine, exercise, start taking care of yourself, sleep properly, and consider that your body may be going through changes depending on your age. A lot of stuff could be hormonal. Try to understand how your body's working so that you don't start to panic every time you feel something. You don't start to be like, oh, there's something, I'm dying, I'm going to faint. Sometimes it's natural occurrences in your body and changes that are happening. The second cluster, which is tension, stress, and dread, don't listen to all the things going on in your head that are making you worry. Try really hard to not let your mind take off on you and start thinking of all the bad things that could be happening, all these horrible things. If you don't do this or don't do that, don't start triggering that part of your brain to get you anxious. And for cluster 3, that's the mental anguish. You got to learn how to turn it off and stay calm and rest. And this is where it's good to meditate. If you're an artist, put some soothing music on, do some artwork, do some crafts, exercise, relaxing like yoga. On YouTube, they have music to relax to, and sometimes they're up to 8 hours long for you to sleep. So you can actually find some soothing music on YouTube and play it while you're going to sleep. It could be rainfall, a desert sound, ocean, dolphins, whatever your thing is, and it actually helps. It really soothes your mind, and you actually can get a very quiet, relaxing sleep. Now, they also have medications that they'll prescribe to people if it's severe enough. If you're like me, I won't take the medicine, okay, because I'm worried about what it's going to do to me kind of thing. And you got to get past that mindset. Don't look it up on the internet. Whatever you do, that's my downfall. I start looking it up and I start freaking out when I start seeing the side effects. But where I started having to convince myself is that everything has side effects. Aspirin has side effects. And they have to list them all just in case to cover. It doesn't mean that you're going to get that. It's very rare. Like, it's not a common side effect that people get. They just have to list it. Seek help if it starts taking control of your everyday life. You know you need to sleep better. You need to take care of yourself better, but you can't because you're so worried about so many things and so anxious about people, and it's not a way to live. It really isn't. It's too stressful and it's not good for you. Those are some ways that you can help with anxiety. Thank you for listening to Podcast Therapy.